Hello everyone, I'm Brazen Eagle and thank you for joining me here. So today, we have an article from the good old Daily Mail. Girls are skipping school to avoid sharing gender-neutral toilets with boys after being left to feel unsafe and ashamed. Menstruating girls are staying home for fear of being made to feel period shame. Some girls are risking infections by refusing to urinate all day or not even drinking. Doctors and politicians called on schools to halt the move towards unisex toilets. Gender-neutral toilets in schools have left girls feeling unsafe and even put their health at risk, parents and teachers have warned. Girls who are menstruating are so anxious about sharing facilities with boys that some are staying at home for fear of being made to feel period shame. With a growing number of both primary and secondary schools installing unisex toilets, some girls are risking infections by refusing to urinate all day. Others are so fearful that they have stopped drinking liquids at school. Parents and teaching staff have told the Daily Mail, or The Mail, on Sunday that female pupils feel deeply uncomfortable or even unsafe sharing toilets with male students. The trend for single-sex toilets is driven by the wish to be more inclusive, a buzzword, of children who identify as transgender and wish to use the same facilities as the opposite sex. But last night, doctors and politicians called on schools to halt the move towards unisex toilets to prevent any further harm to female pupils. GP Tessa Katz said holding in urine for prolonged periods on a regular basis could increase the risk of girls suffering urinary and bladder infections. The psychological effects of girls not feeling safe enough to use mixed-sex toilets is also concerning, said Dr. Katz. No mention of boys, just girls. At the same time, the rise in gender-neutral toilets has sparked a backlash among parents, many of whom say they were not consulted before the change was made at their children's schools. The latest row involves Deansfield Primary School in South Ruislip, West London, where parents launched a petition last month against the introduction of unisex toilets. One angry mother, who has daughters aged 4 and 8 at the school, said, "The cubicles were open at the bottom and top so older pupils can easily climb up the toilets and peer over." Stephanie Davies-Arai, from the parent campaign group Transgender Trend, said schools were being misinformed by trans activist organizations that they were breaking equality laws if they did not make toilets unisex. She said there were clear exemptions under the current equality laws that meant it was perfectly legal to have single-sex toilets. A spokesman for Deansfield said, "We will continue to support parents with any individual worries or concerns they have." Tory MP David Davies, who has backed feminist claims that transgender rights are overriding those of women, said, "If girls are not comfortable sharing toilets with boys, then schools should make provision for them, rather than saying girls have got a problem." And that is the end of the article. Well, Mr. Davies, I'm definitely coming back to you because it does sound like girls actually are the ones with a problem. But equality, don't you love it? Equality is so great. Mandatory equality from the earliest of ages. Anyways, so some girls feel intimidated and anxious about sharing a restroom with cisgender males. Or not even cisgender males, would someone say, but anyone who feels male. This is all in the name of great progressive social progress, basically, according to some. You know, both males and females, they shouldn't exclude anyone who wants to use whatever restroom, right? At least according to leftists. If anything, the girls who are feeling anxious are being sexist from their position of privilege. That is what a progressive would tell you. We are all equal, right? Why should the girls not share their restroom with boys? This is truly progress. At least this type of answer is what you would get from, progressive, leftists, and communists. But to be clear, to be perfectly clear, it sounds like getting rid of bathrooms, specifically for a single sex or for both sexes might not have been a good idea. It's almost as if there was a reason why the sexes had separate bathrooms in the beginning. If supposed transgender students need to use a restroom, then have them use the restroom that corresponds to their biological sex. We all know gender means nothing. Gender is quite literally based on your feelings. So some would ask, why should society conform to an extreme minority, in this case transgender individuals, that demands that the transgender kids get their way no matter what? This is where everyone needs to realize, and the most important message out of this video, is that equality of outcomes is the current goal of progressives, of leftists, of communists. Equality of outcomes. When they say equality, they mean equality of outcomes. This is progressivism. No matter what the cost, everyone must have a supposed equal outcome. It is obviously clear in this specific case regarding girls being uncomfortable being in bathroom with whoever wants to be male. Leftists want everyone to use the same restroom, which is the outcome. That means we are all equal. It doesn't matter what the cost is, be it the destruction of separate bathrooms. It doesn't matter if it's mandating that everyone acknowledge transgender people and the pronouns that they want to be called, and it doesn't even matter that girls are feeling uncomfortable sharing bathrooms with male students. It's all based on supposedly equal outcomes, at least according to those on the political left. Now, lastly, or I guess rounding this out, Tory MP David Davies sounds like a traditional male, I would say. He believes that feminists are better and deserve more than transgender people. He says, if girls are not comfortable sharing toilets with boys, then you know what? Schools should make provisions for the girls, rather than saying girls have got a problem. Why are you doing this, man? Are you stupid? Why make provisions for the girls if we're just trying to make everyone have equal outcomes? If anything, girls shouldn't get more than boys. If you really believe in equality, no special privileges, Mr. David Davies. And by the way, like I said earlier, it is girls that have the problem, not the boys as far as we know. They're the ones feeling uncomfortable. Why are you more concerned about the girls' feelings than what the boys think or feel about this situation, It sounds like the girls are the ones concerned with boys in the bathrooms, but then again, I'm just Brazen Eagle. Honestly, it doesn't sound like David Davies doesn't understand that if you give girls special provisions, then you acknowledge that girls and boys are different and unequal, and ultimately, at least in this case, you shouldn't force unisex bathrooms in schools. At least in my opinion, if you want equality or even appear to want equality, then you know what? You're gonna reap what you're gonna sow. Now, of course, the most realistic thing that'll come out of this is that girls will continue to complain, and they will eventually get their own bathrooms because of all their complaining. Now, boys, however, they will be stuck sharing their restrooms with girls, or whoever wants to identify as a girl, because equality of outcomes. It's there to destroy another male space, to more or less say. But you know what? It seems like equality is for thee, but equality is not for me. Or at least according to progressives, leftists, communists, and what have you. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I'm Brazen Eagle, and I do hope you have a great, great day.